Hello, everyone. Welcome to Te Coffee and Chisme. I'm your co-host Pancho, and this is
MayJay.
Thank you for staying with us for this long pause. It was almost a month of no recording, and we're sorry about that. After coming back from Mexico, we had life kick our butt in more ways than one, and we've been all over the place. I've gotten 2 jobs, and um, I work in the afternoon, and afternoons are the only times May is free. So thank you for sticking around, and we apologize. Is there anything you want to say about that, May?
Yeah, we basically established a new recording time. I think Pancho's gonna be able to record on Sundays, which I will too. So hopefully from now on we'll be able to record on Sundays. Hopefully upload by Wednesday or Thursday. Um, it just depends how our schedules are going to play because on Wednesday, Pancho has off, but I work my second job on Wednesday. So it's just kind of going to see where it goes. But yeah, thank you for sticking with us. Sorry for the break. We're gonna go ahead and give you guys, a quick summary of what the rest of Mexico was like for us when we were over there. Late October, early November, and um, a little bit of how our Thanksgiving went. What kinds of foods we ate, what kind of foods we ate in Mexico too, and yeah.
Before all that, we have to start off with, of course, the drink of the day. And today, fortunately and unfortunately, I'm drinking tea, surprisingly. And the reason for that is because I think my seasonal allergies are already here, and I feel like poop at times. Um, and what are you drinking today?
I am also drinking tea, but surprisingly, I drank coffee last night.
Really?
So I did.
I did not know that.
I drank coffee last night because we had leftover pan dulce. So yeah, I went to my uncle's on on Friday night. Just to talk about life and everything, and we had gotten some pan dulce, and he sent me home with some of it.
Some of it. Oh, you got
Yeah.
like 3 bags over there.
Well,
bro.
it was some of it, but yeah, I ended up having another. Well, I had chocolate caliente on Friday night, so I had cafe on yesterday night, Saturday night, and this morning, yeah, I'm drinking tea.
Wow, I was about to ask you if you were using my Nespresso machine yesterday, but I guess it was just my uncle.
Yeah, my dad made me a coffee. It was very bitter.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, there's something called sugar?
Or creamer. That also helps. All right. Well, what did we start with? We left off last time with the festival of Dia de los Muertos, and I think we just implemented a bunch of our family scary stories there. And we do have one more scary story that we teased, and we're so sorry that it took so long for us to release this episode, but life, as you all know it. We do have one more episode that we teased, or story, I mean, the Chabelita story. Some of you guys might have seen it on TikTok or Instagram. It will be implemented in this. I do have the file and everything. We could just implement it in. But yeah, we could talk about Sepio. That's the last thing that we didn't get to talk about before we ended the last episode.
Yeah, so basically, um, we spoke about in the last episode about how we celebrated Halloween in Mexico. Well, we didn't really talk about the Day of the Dead. We did talk about how we went to the Panteon and everything. We went to two panteones actually. In the morning we woke up really early. We went to go buy flowers. Um, Everyone seemed like they were buying flowers because we went and we basically got like the end of it. Like there were no more roses. There no and they hijacked those prices up. I was like, damn. But yeah, like normally if you wanted a bouquet of like 12 roses, like red roses, it would cost you like 300 pesos. And that day they were charging 12 red roses for 800 pesos. I was like, you're kidding me. But whatever. we still ended up getting really nice flowers for both my grandpas, um, for my Papa Kiko, which he's like a grandpa to me, but he's my godmother's dad. For my great grandma, and for one of my grandma's neighbors, that she was also like somewhat like a great aunt to me. So we ended up visiting my great grandma, uh, Chela, and Papa Kiko in the morning. Had some pan dulce. They were selling a ton of stuff outside of the panteon, and it was just such a good vibe. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I was sad, but at the same time, like, I was super happy, and at the same time, it was such a bittersweet feeling because you go and you visit the graves and you start seeing all these memories come back to you, and you're like, oh man, I miss you guys so much. But at the same time, you're like, aquí les traje su ramito de flores, you know? So yeah, it was definitely a very bittersweet feeling. We saw a lot of people, a lot of family, a lot of friends, you know, at their loved ones' altars. So it was a very good experience. And then when we got out, they had like little vasijitas de azúcar. Like everything was made. It was like miniature food, but made out of sugar. They had pan. I ended up buying a ton of pan dulce. Pancho, he ended up buying a burger.
I was so hungry that day, honestly. I don't think I ate dinner the day before because usually with Mexico, this is the thing in America. We never have time to eat. It's usually like, oh, we eat something for breakfast, something small, and because we're like in the training stage where we're going to the gym constantly, we're taking our protein, we're trying not to eat out and stuff. We sometimes get meal replacements like protein bars and stuff. This is not the case in Mexico. You eat 5 times a day. You eat breakfast, brunch, lunch, dinner, and then probably a snack that consists of either something the size of a burger or a hot dog. So that morning, I drank coffee, I ate a whole burger, and on top of that, I also got an agua fresca that the guy recommended for me.
It's dinner and cena.
Dinner and cena.
Technically, it's the same thing, but you just have one a little bit later than the other.
Yeah. It's holy crap. It's a lot of food, and you'd expect that because we're in America, we'd eat a lot. No, it's not that we eat a lot. It's just that everything's either super processed here or high in fat.
Yeah,
so
and everything's super organic.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's why lots of people can eat as much as they can or want over there because like everything's so natural. You don't have the burden of eating a meal and feeling like you just ate at a buffet. Anyways, yeah, I think that was the second time I've ever gone to the Panteon, and usually it was like super gloomy and stuff. So I was ready with the thought of, oh my god, it's gonna be like so,
sad.
Not pun intended, dead. It's gonna be like super sad, super gloomy, and all that. But everything was like so beautiful, well decorated for the Day of the Dead. There was flowers on the little arrows. There was the entrance was completely covered in flowers. The pathway also had flowers, and then all the graves that you usually would see, just like red roses or white flowers and stuff. They were completely blooming with every single type of color you can think of. And I don't think I saw a single grave there without any decorations or anything. Like, there were so many people, neighbors alike, that we have never met or we have met once or twice, and we ended up just striking conversations like nothing. And it's pretty nice to see that there's a place where everyone could just walk in and see their family, as long as it was since they were taken away and stuff. Compared to here where it's like you really need an appointment or like a day for everyone to come in for a funeral and stuff, or just for a pastor to say their name for like 13 seconds and then just call it a day. It's more sentimental, more personal over there.
Yeah, it's just like we said in the last podcast, the culture shock.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see that here in America, so it was a very good experience. It was my second Dia de los Muertos there, but it was my first time going to the actual cemeteries to decorate, to be there and everything. Unfortunately, the first time I went, I had to work. I was working in Mexico, so It was a day, that I had to be in the office and everything, so I wasn't able to, go visit my loved ones at the cemetery, and I also didn't really know what was going on. I would just see all the decorations, and I thought it was super cool. I was like, oh, it's Halloween. Until somebody explained it to me. They were like, hey, I won't be able to come in to work because I'm gonna be with my family and we're gonna do this, and I was like, what? And then that's when I started learning more about Dia de los Muertos. So having this experience this time around was definitely, super fun. Um, the second pantheon that we ended up going to was to a ranch named Decepio. So we went there. My grandparents, both my grandpas, um, grandfathers, they're both buried there. They used to be best friends in life, so they decided that they wanted to be buried next to each other. So, super convenient for me. Um, and then we had other family members there too. My entire dad's side was there. My godparents of Bautizo were there, so I was able to walk around and say hi to everyone. Talk a little bit. Go visit my grandma because one of my grandmas lives in the city, the other one lives there in the ranch. So it was a good experience, and we ended up also seeing the mayor of the city of Moroleon. So it was really cool.
Yeah, honestly, that was a super cool experience. I in my bucket list, I've always wanted to meet like a president or like a mayor or like some high authority figure. Not in a sense of like, oh, I just want to have a feeling of knowing someone important. Like not even that. It's just I want to see someone in person that has that authority or that privilege in the sense of like, wow, their life is completely different than mine, and I want to see if they're an actual person behind cameras or behind a podium and stuff. And she was super kind. She said hi to literally everyone. She gave handshakes to everyone, hugged everyone. She gave me a kiss. I feel important. But yeah, even her daughters were there. Like they were super nice as well, and her husband and I think it was her brother. I don't remember.
Yeah, it
And
was her brother.
they were decorating their grave, and fun fact,
Their mom's grave.
yeah, their mom's grave, and the guy's grave, the guy that saved his brother. So they also decorated the grave of someone who risked their life to jump in front of the mayor's brother and saved his life because someone threatened with shooting him, and he ended up dying in the process. And they also uh, buried him there next to you said the mom?
Yeah, the mom.
The mom, and they started decorating both graves. So it was super sweet. Even the daughters were helping out, and everyone was just. It was such like an eye opening because like in America you expect the president to be like completely filled with bodyguards and no one can get like 5 meters close to him and stuff. And no, the presidenta had like two guards next to her, like three more far away from her. But everyone went up to her, gave her a hug, gave her a kiss, or like handshake and stuff. It was like she was basically just a normal person, and it's just I don't know. It was just like mind blowing the fact that anyone could have just gone up to her and shaken her hand without like any trouble.
Yeah, so a little backstory on why her mom is buried there. So, her mom was actually supposed to be the running president, the running mayor of the city, and when she was running, you know, in elections, she was at a rally and somebody shot her. So the now mayor's mom was the one that was to be elected, and she ended up getting shot. So that's when she passed away, I believe, in 2021, and that's when they buried her there. So now everybody goes there and visits her, and her daughter, which is our now mayor in our hometown in Mexico, she decided to run, and everybody voted for her because they wanted, she was her mom's like right hand, so every intention that her mom had, she has. So it was like they were voting for the same person. So she ended up taking her mom's, place, and she ended up winning. So now she's in her second term. She just started her second term. So I'm very, very happy for that because she has definitely changed Moroleon. I feel like Moroleon was a very corrupted city. There was a lot of, narcos, carteles, and all that stuff. And I mean, I'm not saying that it changed or anything, like, that there's not that kind of activity anymore. There definitely is. But I definitely feel like everything's so much more secure now. Um, I feel more secured when I go to Mexico, and I just feel like everyone's happier now. I feel like there's a sense of community more than there used to be. And then the last president, honestly, not my cup of tea, but I'm just glad that he's no longer there.
Yeah, honestly, I feel the same because last time I went to Mexico was, I want to say, 2021, if not 2020. I can't really remember, but I remember all the time, like, our grandma or like
It was
my
2019.
2019.
Yeah. Yep, it was 2019.
Whatever year it was more than 2-3 years ago. That's all I remember because I have a blurred memory. But yeah, I remember like all the time my aunts or like my grandma would be like, "Hey, go with someone, go to the store with someone, like don't go by yourself because it's dangerous and stuff." And now like all the time my grandma would be like, "Oh, you're going to the store? Here, can you buy me this? Can you buy me that?" Or like, "Okay, just stay safe and stuff." Like it was such a big difference. Back then it was like everyone had to be together, and now it's like, yeah, you can go if you want. Just don't get lost.
I'm just gonna tell you guys how big of a difference it is. Now you can walk at night with no problem. And I remember that in like 2018, yeah, it was like 2018 or 17 or something like that. I believe it was 2018. But anyway, I went to one of my favorite taquerias at night with my godfather and my cousin. We were just gonna go pick up tacos to go back to my grandma's house to eat, and we were waiting on the outside of the taqueria, and then out of nowhere, we just hear like a screeching of the tires cuando, like, they're,
burning rubber.
not burning rubber, pero like cuando te das la vuelta bien de repente, like when you're turning really fast.
Yeah.
And everybody just got like super scared, and then all I heard was gunshots, and I was like, "What the hell?" That. And we all went inside, like the rest of the customers that were waiting there, and then the main guy de la taqueria, he came and closed the curtain because like over there they have curtains which are like, the metal, like if you ever seen, the storage lockers, it looks like that. It basically looks like a big storage locker, but inside is a restaurant, right?
Yeah, it's a big metal sheet.
Yeah. So the guy brought the sheet down, and then everybody just hid. And the good thing about Mexico is that all the houses are made out of concrete, so like the bullets would have just ricocheted off. So everything was fine. We were hiding in like what I believe was like someone's living room, and I was like, "What the hell is happening?" Like I was super scared for my life. And I remember that time I went with no one. Like I went without my parents. It was my first time from working in Mexico by myself. So I was just there with my godfather and not my parents or anything. So like they didn't know what was happening at the moment. But I just remember that we were like, okay, I think the ghost is cleared. And they opened the curtain up, and there was a dead person. Like, I kid you not, like, less than 10 feet away from where they were selling tacos. And it just killed everybody's vibe. Like, yeah. They called the police, and they were like, hey, there's a dead guy outside and everything. And then, somebody went into their house, and they got a sabana, and they just covered the guy until the police got there. And when the police got there, they took the sabana off, they checked him and everything, and they left him there. They left him there for 24 hours.
Just on the floor?
Just on the floor, because they had a rule back in, back when the other president was there. Mm-hmm. When they had a rule that they had to leave the body on the floor for 24 hours just in case, like, any more activity came through. Yeah.
What?
And I was like, are you serious? So, like, they would have a guard standing there, like, here and there, or, like, a guard come and dar vueltas just to see if the body was still there or not. And I was like, what'd you expect? Like, the body to just get up and go or something? For real.
Someone to pick it up. Of course someone's gonna fucking pick it up if they're guilty.
No, but they would just leave the body there. Exactly. Like, they didn't even cover it or anything. And I remember that, like, one of my grandma's friends used to live on that street where the taquero was. The taquero didn't open for like 2 days because they were like, "Hey, we're gonna give some people time to, get over whatever happened." Um, but all I remember was that one of my grandma's friends ended up calling my grandma saying, "Hey, they picked him up now." And we knew who the guy was. Like, I mean, I personally didn't know, but I knew which family he came from.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, wow, like that family must feel real bad knowing that their family member is lying on the floor, dead
for 24 hours.
For over 24 hours, and no one picked him up. Like, I don't know. I thought that shit was like super crazy.
And that fucks up forensics, bro. That fucks up forensics because now they can't see shit like at the moment.
Well, yeah, but I was just like, okay, whatever, and I mean, he was dead because I saw him. And I was, there's blood everywhere and stuff like that. But I was like, what the hell? Like, that was not on my bucket list to experience in Mexico. But, it happened. So, like, whenever I tell somebody, like, oh, yeah, in Mexico, I saw someone get shot. Like, actually, I didn't see him get shot, but I heard him get shot, And to me, it's just like, how do people know that guy was standing there or, like, whatever. A couple weeks after that, we ended up finding out that he had stolen something from someone, and that group of people that shot him, they had a reason to shoot him.
Yeah.
But,
not big enough reason. There's no reason to shoot someone just because they stole something.
I get, yeah, but, in their books, yeah.
Yeah. It's Mexico. People would do the craziest things for money or whatever.
But anyway, talking about the taquero, I want to talk about that taquero, actually. Because when we went to Mexico, it was the first place that we went to go eat out. And it is my favorite taquero. His name is Don Benja.
That was Don Benja?
Yeah, that was Don Benja.
No way, you took me there, bro.
Hey, my Padrino took us there. Anyway, that is like our go-to spot. Every time I go to Mexico, for the past, I'm not going to mention my age, but however old I've been, that guy has been there, And his tacos, and actually his quesadillas are bomb. I don't even think I've had a taco. I've had a quesadilla, because I just don't, I don't go away from my quesadillas. I always order quesadillas de al pastor, and, they come with cebollitas. Oh, so good. That's the first place we went to eat this time. I've been eating it as a tradition. Every single time I go to Mexico, that is the first place we go to. And this time, it was Pancho's first time.
Yeah, it was my first time ever going because I had heard every single time we've gone, I've always heard, they got Don Beca, and I'm like, who is that? Like, I don't know who that is. And yeah, it was my first time going. I also got a quesadilla because Erica said they were really, really good. So I was like, yeah, I'll get just one, because I know in Mexico they were pretty big. So I was like, yeah, I'll just get one. And then my godfather was like, no, get two. They're pretty small. Like, all right. So I opened up the wrapper, and there was a huge, huge quesadilla. And I was like, I've got to eat two of these now? And yeah, they came with, our traditional fried onion, cilantro, cebolla, salsa.
Grilled onions.
Oh, it was so good. Yeah. Honestly, I kind of wish we went there for a second time, but the second time that we were gonna go,
they were closed.
Yeah, we were gonna go with our cousins, and they happened to be closed that day.
Yeah, but I do want to talk about my top 3 places that we went to go eat in Moroleon, and definitely my top this time was not Don Benja, sadly. I found a new place called Tacos Los Arandas. Okay, let me just tell you guys that these tacos are the smallest freaking tacos I've ever seen. They are bite-sized. Like, you literally can only bite it one time, and 3/4 of that taco is gone. Mm-hmm. So, it's definitely a 2-piece taco, but they have so much flavor packed in them. Oh, my God. I only ordered al pastor, because al pastor is my favorite taco. My favorite, my favorite meat. But I definitely loved Los Arandas. Second place would be Don Benja. I call him Don Benji. And third, I went out with my best friends. And they took me to this place called the Pasta Club. Exactly like that in English. And let me just tell you, it was so freaking good. I had, oh dang, what is it called? Tortellinis filled with spinach and cheese,
Oh, that sounds
and
good.
in a vodka sauce with, oh, what kind of meat did I have? I don't know. I don't remember, honestly. I think it was steak. But it was so good. Like, it was so, so good. Oh, no, it wasn't steak. It was,
What is it
oh,
in Spanish?
what is it? No, it's because it wasn't even in Spanish. Everything was in, like, Italian and English.
Really?
Pancetta.
I don't think I
It's
know.
like, a different kind of bacon.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a thinner bacon.
Oh.
And I don't know. It was kind of like, yeah, it was kind of like a bacon. It was super good. We did have steak bites. That's why I'm you know
Thinking about steak.
pensando que era steak.
Yeah.
But no, we had steak bites as an appetizer and garlic knots, and then the pasta came in, and it was just all so good. It was such a genuine time with my friends there, and I don't know, everything just was such a good place. It was great food, great company, great everything, and I don't know. It just summed up my entire experience in Mexico with food, and I was just like, oh, I love it. What about you, Pancho?
Dude, I don't even want to talk about food. I'm so hungry right now. All I had was half an oreja of pan dulce and some tea. But if I really had to pick my top three, honestly, first place probably would be the pinche tacos. Because the pinche tacos, it was my first time trying over there. Oh my god. I had some tacos and I had some um a loaded potato and it was loaded. I'm talking the plate was spilling. It had bacon, it had grilled onions, it had three different cheeses, and it had pastor on it. It was so good. Um it was huge too. The actual papa was really big. It was probably bigger than my hand. But besides that, I would have to say Don Beja second. And then third place, I would have to say, where did I go? Oh, the Mariscos. I went to Mariscos place with my aunts, and I had something called camarones momia, which is just shrimp wrapped in bacon with celery inside. Oh my god, so good. And even better than here, because they have it here, like in certain places. The difference is they don't stuff it with cheese. They have mozzarella cheese on the inside over there in Mexico. And on top of that, they had a complimentary lemonade. And it was the small size for it, it was huge. I'm talking about we're using a MacBook right now to record. It was bigger than the MacBook screen, and that was just a small. Like it was crazy. Besides that, what else did we do? Pasta, panteon, and all that food.
Um.
No, the altar.
Oh yeah, the altar. Oh, we spoke a little bit about the altar in the other podcast. Um, how we had all our family members, all the food that we integrated in, everybody's favorite foods, and we rezamos el rosario, and it was a very bittersweet feeling once we had to take everything down because it was like, oh man, like they left, they I mean not you know more in like a physical, I don't know, in the house.
A spiritual.
Yeah,
Like a spiritual
but
sense.
in the house, it just felt like in esos días, the Dia de los Muertos, it just felt like they were around us. Like the house felt so warm. I don't know how to explain it, but like it wasn't in a creepy sense. Like I wasn't like, oh shit, like let me see if I see a ghost or anything. No.
Oh, what did I see?
Yeah, Pancho saw something. But no, I didn't feel like that. Um, I don't think I've ever felt like that. Around this time in Mexico, when I'm actually in Mexico, I don't feel creeped out about anything. If anything, I think I get creeped out more here in the States. At my house. My house is very, paranormal activity like. Uh,
Very much.
yeah, but no. Other than that, I felt great, and it was just a bittersweet feeling. Taking down the flowers, taking down the food and stuff like that. I even brought some of the cazuelitas de comida that are made out of azúcar for here, for the U.S. I brought a little skull and it cracked. It cracked on the plane.
Yeah.
I was so pissed off because like I brought it in my book bag, the one that you put in your back. And I was being very careful with it, and everything else, came in intact except that little skull.
Even the fruit, because the fruit had like a little thin piece of
like a handle. It was
like
a basket of fruit,
and it was so thin, and that somehow survived, but the skull didn't.
but the skull didn't. I think it's because the skull was hollow that it cracked.
Mm-hmm.
My mom tried super gluing it, but it didn't work out. It just didn't look good. So we just ended up being like, oh, sorry, threw it away. Maybe next year.
Yeah, but what MayJay was saying, yeah, it definitely feels like a warm feeling. It feels like they're walking around you, like they're still living, and they're just living their life in the house. To put it in perspective, say that you go to the kitchen and it's your our great grandmother's favorite spot. Actually, no, the hallway before we go to the patio.
No, I think what got me the most, and I was in the bathroom at this time, right?
Oh, right.
I was in the bathroom at this time, and my grandma, she had just gotten back from the mercado, and she went to go get chicharrón, right? And chicharrón, for those that don't know what chicharrón is, it's basically pork rinds, right? But it is like super fresh. They had just made it that morning, and my great grandma Cuculita, she used to love chicharrón. So my grandma had just gone to the mercado. She came and brought chicharrón, and she put it on a little plate, and she went to the altar, and she told my great grandma, ten ama, le traje su pedacito de chicharrón. Ay, comparte con todos. Which basically means, hey mom, I brought you your little piece of chicharrón here. I brought you enough so you can go ahead and share with everyone. And I was in the bathroom, and I kid you not, I stayed in the bathroom for an additional 5 minutes because I was sobbing. I was like, no, you did not just do that.
I was in the living room, and I was on my phone, and when I heard that, my head tilted upwards, and I felt like my eyes were tearing up. And I told MayJay too, I'm like, bro, I felt so sad when she said that.
I was texting you when I was doing that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, did she just say that?
Yeah, I was like, bro, why did my heart break?
Yeah, it was super sad, but at the same time,
it was comforting.
It's her mom. It's her mom. So, if my mom wasn't on the altar, I would definitely be like, hey, mom, te traje esto, your favorite thing. I mean, my mom's, favorite thing right now is the Chick-fil-A salad. So, I would probably be like, here, mom, I brought you a Chick-fil-A salad, But, yeah, I don't know. It was just super sad. But at the same time, I know that they're in a better place now and everything. So, aquí nada más estaban sufriendo. They were just, suffering at the end of the day. Ya cuando están bien viejitos. For those of you that don't know, which I mean, I don't think anybody knows, but my great grandma, she passed away in 2012. I mean, in 2002.
2002?
In 2002. It's been 2 years already.
2002.
I mean, 2022.
I was born in 2002.
My bad. 2022. I just woke up an hour ago, guys.
We both did.
Yeah. So anyway, 2022. So it's only been 2 years ago, and she was 102 years old.
Yeah. It was crazy.
She had just turned 102. And it was crazy because she turned 102 in May. And they still took her to church. She still walked to church. And she sat during the entire mass and everything. Dedicated to her. The pastor, or the padre, was like, and I want everyone to clap. And I want everyone to say happy birthday to Cuculita. She's at the back of the, of the iglesia, of the templo. And I want everyone to say happy birthday to her because she is here physically at 102 years old. And it was I wasn't there personally, but I saw the video. And everyone clapped. Everyone clapped. And it sounded so pretty and so nice because if anybody here has been to Moroleón, La Iglesia de Esquipulitas in Moroleón, it's huge. You can fit up to I don't know, maybe 1,000 people in there.
Yeah.
It is huge. And that place that day was packed. And everybody passed by y saludaron a my grandma y le dijeron happy birthday, everything. It was such a beautiful video and such a beautiful experience for her. So that happened in May. And then the next, oh no, mentiras. She turned 102 in May. And then a whole year passes by. And then in April of 2000, she turned 202 in 2021. And then in 2022, she didn't get to her birthday.
Yeah, it was a month,
because
no?
she passed away in April.
Yeah.
She actually passed away on my tia Rosita's birthday, April 22nd.
I remember because I had just started my first ever job. Well, not first ever job. I had worked multiple jobs before that. But it was my first job alone, like far away from my house. Usually, like, my job would be like 5 minutes away or maybe like a 3-minute walk. But that was my first time ever working far from home. And it was like 15-minute drive and stuff. And I remember it was my first week there, and I had the message. I still remember till this day. I had the feeling of like dread come to me for some reason. Like my heart hurt so much, and I was like, why can't I breathe? And then I had just like sat down for a bit, and I got a message from my mom saying like, hey, your grandma just passed away, and like my whole world just crumbled there because I love my great grandmother. She's like basically like a mother to me. Not even like a second mother. Like she was a mother to me. And I loved her so much. And even though when I did started to like talk to her more and like be more around her, I was a teenager. You know, teenagers, all they care about is like their electronics or like, you know, their image with their friends. Like I didn't. Like I loved my great grandmother. And even though I didn't spend too much time with her because, you know, we live in America and all that, we got our stuff over here, I still loved her so much. And it did break my heart. I cried that day and I didn't really want to work that day.
And for me, it was like way different. So she was already like agonizing. So when they told me that, I booked my flight. I was like, I don't give a hell about this job. I mean, I'm sorry, I do. But at the same time, like
you still work there,
in
bro.
In the moment, I'm sorry, guys, but in the moment, I was actually this is a confession right now because I haven't told anybody at work. I accidentally told everybody at work that my grandma had passed away already because they weren't gonna let me. Like they literally were like, you get 2 days and then you have to come back. And then I was like, y'all don't understand. Like this is my grandma, you know. I mean, if I would have said great grandma, they wouldn't have given me the days. Well, anyway, I said grandma. And they were like, okay, you get 3 days because it's out of town. And I said, thank you. And then they said, actually, you can take all the days you need, right? And I was like, can I use my vacation days? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, okay, perfect. So, in that moment, I was like, damn, should I go or should I not go? Like, do I wait until she passes or, like, do I go now? And it was over the weekend, and I was like, I'm going to go now. Because they're saying that she's going to pass away, like, now, you know? So, my mom was already in Mexico. I got a flight with my dad and my aunt, and we ended up going to Mexico, all 3 of us together. And when we get there, I'm expecting like my great grandma, like I mean no offense, grandma, right? But like I'm expecting my great grandma to pass away like the minute I get into the house, and homegirl was not ready to go. Like homegirl still stayed for another 2 days, and I'm like, girl, I need you to go.
Yeah, she
like,
was holding on.
Yeah, like she was holding on for dear life, and I literally was like, homegirl, like you need to go. Like I need to go back to work, and I felt bad, you know. Pero like ella ya estaba sufriendo. For those of you guys that don't know, like when somebody is in those moments and they can't pass away, it is so sad. Like it is so sad to know that they are in so much pain and they are agonizing and everything. And for me, like I was just heartbreaking, like looking at my grandma, like my actual grandma, which is her daughter, um, my mom, you know, all my tias and all my family members just looking at her like that. And what ended up happening was that day, it was April 22nd, and everybody was saying happy birthday to my aunt and everything, and everybody was in the patio. I'm talking about everybody. I'm talking about like over 50 people were at my grandma's house, and everybody was in the patio because the patio is like a bigger space. So everybody was in the patio. Family de California, de Texas, de Pennsylvania, especially Pennsylvania, and well, us, you know, that live here in Chicago. So we were all there. I did not want to be part of them, and then everybody was like, everybody's like prohibited to being in the room with your great grandma, because apparently the pastor said, or the priest, or whatever, you know, whatever it is in English, el padre dijo que ella tenía que pasar sola, that she needed to die by herself. And that was one of my great grandma's like biggest things. She was like, yo no me quiero morir sola. I don't want to die by myself. So I stayed in the kitchen, which was like only a room away from where her room was. My mom, she came into the kitchen and she told me, she's like, "Hey, you need to come outside with everybody else." And I was like, "No." I was like, "I'm gonna stay here for a little bit." I was like, "I just don't feel like my great grandma was like dying in the next room, and everybody's over there like ha 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 he laughing."
Yeah.
And I mean, they weren't laughing, but like they were all like, "Oh, you remember this," and they were just talking about memories. So it's not a bad thing, but in my heart, I just didn't feel like it. So I stayed in the kitchen, and then out of nowhere, I get this glimpse that like a lady is in the room with my grandma. And I was like, "Oh hell no." I was like, "Something's happening like right here, right now." And for those of you guys that, I mean, you guys don't know me, but like, I see a lot of paranormal stuff and I sense a lot of paranormal things. So in that moment, I'm like looking up into the ceiling of the room, of the kitchen, and I can see, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like I can see the next room from a different point of view, and I can see that there's an old lady with like a rebozo, um, like something covering her head, and she's tapping on the bed and she's telling, my great grandma, yes, it's time to go. Like es tiempo para irnos. And then that's it. And then I get up and I go and check the window, like the window to the room, and I told my mom, like, "Mom," because she was right next to me in the hallway, and I'm like, "Mom, you need to come over here. I don't think she's breathing anymore." And then my mom was like, "Shut up." And so we ended up going into the room through the living room because there was two entrances to that room. So we ended up going through the other entrance, and then I kid you guys not, in that moment we enter the room, she takes her last breath, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, she did not want to die by herself."
Mm.
Like she waited until one of us came in here, and she passed away. Like she took her last breath, right in front of us, and I immediately told my mom, like, "You need to run and go get someone right now." And thankfully I wasn't there by myself, like my mom was there too. So when my mom goes, then she really takes her last breath. Like I could just see like the entire color from her body just leave right in front of my eyes, and then that's when my mom and my grandma and my godfather come back into the room. My godfather, tries getting a pulse, and she's no longer with us, and I was shocked. I didn't even cry because I was just so shocked at the fact that this all just happened right in front of my eyes. Like I had never seen that happen before, where like somebody passes away in front of you. And para que fuera my great grandma, it was just like I didn't know if it was a blessing or a curse at the same time, but I was like so grateful that I was able to be there and hold her hand in her last moments. But at the same time, I was very sad that I was also that person that was there in her last moments.
Yeah, it was something else. I just felt complete dread, and it's still one of my biggest regrets to this day. Because honestly, yeah, the job was fine. I worked there for almost 2 years, and excuse me, and I had my ups and downs over there. I enjoyed everyone's company at work and everything, but I feel like that job was not a big staple in my life, and I feel like if I could go back at the moment, I would definitely have taken that flight. Even if I would have lost that job, I definitely would have taken it from my great grandmother. And speaking of like that whole paranormal thing that we were talking about, MayJay just like has a lot of paranormal activity around her, whether it's in her house or
It's
just
like a gift.
yeah, which is pretty ironic because she's completely scared of anything paranormal or anything horror. She refuses to watch horror movies with me.
I just don't do the horror movies, or like if somebody's like, "Let's go into an abandoned house," I'm like, "Hell no!"
And I'm the complete opposite. I've already been to some abandoned buildings.
I'll go. I mean, I've been to abandoned houses too back in my days, but I'm not gonna go now.
Mm-hmm.
Your girl hitting 30. I'm not trying to like get stuck somewhere and like die.
As you said, I don't want to name my age.
I just said girls hitting 30. I never said my actual age. I'm still quite a long way from 30. Anyway, I'll go to like, how do I say it? Like haunted houses, like like those haunted houses, like the third floor, stuff like that. Like the ones that are all actors. But I need to like really be interested in going. So like there used to be a haunted house here called Statesville Haunted Prison.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it because I actually knew a lot of the actors. A lot of the actors were my friends, so I wasn't scared. You know, I just thought it was really cool. Once they took it off, I just stopped going to haunted houses. I just got stopped going to scary things and but like scary things like horror and scary stuff is way different than paranormal if you understand me. So the fact that like here in the house so much paranormal things happen, it doesn't even scare me. Like I'll just be like, "I andan otra vez," or like, stop making noise or stuff like that. I'll even go and investigate what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
If it was a scary house or like the Saw movies, I'd be like, hell no, get me the fuck out of here, But no, I've definitely been into like a lot of paranormal stuff, and it doesn't it doesn't add on to it that my birthday's on Halloween.
Oh yeah,
so
that's perfect.
Honestly. A lot of people are literally like, oh my god, it's literally like a curse. Like you were meant to see things or you were meant to hear things, and I was like, I don't want to though.
You know where we should go? We should go to the prison. It's right here. We should get an appointment. So there's a prison near us.
Like 3 blocks away from our house.
And it's a haunted prison, and there's like tours and stuff like that.
Like it was a real prison. Like it was
active prison back in like 19 something. I think it was when the last time it was.
They closed it in 2001 because they closed it in 2001, and that's where they recorded Prison Break.
Oh right, yeah, we were just watching that a bit ago. But yeah, I've never been on it. I've never been there, even though it's like so close to us. I've just never either had time or anyone to go with. They've gone to it.
Yeah, I've been to it.
MayJay's brother is like super into cars, and he told me about a car meet and a car show that he's been to, and our city actually like hosted it, and it was inside the prison yard, which was crazy. He showed me videos and stuff, and I was like, whoa, I want to go.
They had like the Blues Brothers there and everything. It was really cool. Oh, well, the prison is also part of the Blues Brothers movie. Yeah. For anybody that have seen it. Blues Brothers, Prison Break. So if you guys go see that, you'll reference, what we're talking about.
Yeah, and I've always wanted to go. They've gone already. Of course, I don't think we're gonna do like December or January because it's pretty cold. I feel like we should probably wait for spring. Yeah. But anyways, I completely forgot to talk about it. You know how we said about the whole altar and everything? Uh-huh. So, we have, what's it called? Rezo?
Yeah, El Rosario.
El Rosario. It was basically where, we say our Hail Mary and all that for the people that passed away and that are in the altar, basically to wish them a happy life wherever they are. And keep in mind, we have a hall. It's the entrance to our house. A door right next to it, that's a living room. A second door, which is a bedroom that's connected to the living room. And then it's the kitchen, our altar, and the bathrooms, and then the patio. It's very long hallway.
There's another room between the kitchen and the bathroom.
It's a storage room. And it's a very long hallway. I'm talking, it'll probably take you like a good 2.5 minutes of just walking for you to finish it. But, anyways, so the altar was right in front of the kitchen. Everyone had their backs either towards the kitchen or towards the entrance of the house, except for me. I had my back turned to the patio, so I was looking straight down the hall, and I could see the light of the living room. Someone had left it on. And they were like halfway through El Rosario. My aunt tells my cousin, like, hey, is there anyone else you want me to mention, or do you want me to like continue the Rosario? And not even before my cousin could like answer, I think it was right when my aunt finished that sentence, I saw a silhouette pass by the living room, and I got frozen instantly.
Do you remember if it was sorry,
dang, she's eating waffles right now. She's choking on them. Dang.
Do you remember if it was like a man silhouette or like a woman silhouette?
No, it was just a black figure. Like it was huge though, because you know how long the light of the living room is, how it connects from the door to the wall. The entire thing was covered. So I could not tell, like, I couldn't even tell a shoulder or anything. It was just a black figure passed by, and that's it.
I was going to say, because in that room next to the living room is where, you know, our great-grandma passed away, and my grandpa passed away in that same room.
Oh, I didn't know the grandpa.
Yeah, my grandpa passed away in the same room. My grandpa passed away when I was 3. I was about to turn 3, actually, and Pancho wasn't even born.
Yeah, I was born, 4 years after? No.
I don't know.
You were born.
Well, you were born in 2002.
Yeah.
And
you were born what?
No, you were born in 2001, no?
No, I was born in 2002.
Oh, yeah, because she was in 2003.
Yeah.
I was born in 1996. So
before.
He passed away in 1998.
6 years later.
I think.
6 years after you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but, yeah, it was crazy. And I was stunned the entire time. Like, they were saying their Hail Marys, and I was quiet the entire time, and I couldn't move. Like, I felt like I was paralyzed. And then as soon as my aunt finished, as soon as she finished the last sentence, said, all right, thank you, everyone, I, like, ran to the living room. I booked it. Like, I felt my entire, like, weight just completely shift forward. And I looked in the living room. There was no one there. I looked into the bedroom. I pulled out my flashlight. There wasn't anyone there. And then my aunt was like, you okay? You didn't say a single Hail Mary. And I was like, yeah, I'll tell you tomorrow, because I didn't want to, like, spook everyone. And I ended up telling her, and she's like, no way. She's like, completely stunned and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I can't even remember what name you mentioned beforehand. But it was crazy, the fact that I saw that. And I'm a very spiritual person. I love the paranormal. I love anything horror. And I've seen my things and like by myself, but it's always by myself. It's always like I hear something or I see something and I'm alone in a house or in a room. But this time everyone was there and I was the only one that witnessed it, and that's what creeped me out. Besides that, is there anything else you want to talk about before we insert the final story?
I just want to say I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. We didn't talk about Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
We did have something in place for Thanksgiving, but unfortunately, like Pancho said, life kicked us so hard, and it was just, you know, I don't know, it was just too much.
I enter work in like 30 minutes, and I gotta get ready in 2, and I have a 12-hour shift. That's how hard it's kicking us right now.
Yeah, so I just want to say bye to everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us, and we will go ahead and upload this as soon as we can. And then I promise that we will record every 2 weeks from now on. I mean, we will record every week, but upload every 2 weeks if we can every week. But for right now, just hold on to us for a little bit. Let us get our lives together, you know.
And settle down and all that.
Yeah, hopefully we will be back on track with a more structured podcast and, you know, get everything ready for you guys.
And thank you so much for who is listening out of, you know, us posting, because we do post teasers and stuff. Go ahead and check out our TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. But thank you everyone for whoever like was listening and stuff, because I saw the views going slowly up. We had about like 50 after posting the second episode, and I checked it last night and we're almost at 210, which is like crazy.
Yeah.
That even though we're not active, you guys are still listening. Thank you so much. And for whoever is coming new from like my current job, thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. I know I talk about it once in a while, but if you guys would stick around and stuff, holy crap, the support is just everywhere. But yeah, thank you so much for coming in. Is there anything you want to say before we completely leave?
Nope. I just want to say thank you again, everyone, and hope to see you guys soon. And stay tuned to whatever we post on any of our socials, and go ahead and follow us, subscribe, and give us love.
Alright, thank you so much. And again, we're going to insert the final story, the Chabelita story. I hope you guys enjoy it. Here it is. Madrina, ¿por qué tienen una Coca-Cola con agua ahí arriba?
¿Dónde?
Acá.
Ah, es agua bendita.
Ay, que se quede ahí.
Te vas a asustar.
Está bien.
Seguro ya la mañana en el día.
¿Ah?
You're not gonna record this? Oh, okay.
O ya mañana en el día.
No, dime.
No, ya dilo.
Me duermo mañana.
Nosotros te vuelvo a decir que el taller estaba arriba con las muchachas y yo y tu tío Jorge trabajamos en la parte de abajo, donde está el tejabán, abajo de la lima. Entonces, nosotros siempre nos íbamos a cenar en casa tu tía Rosita, porque una señora de por allí hacía tostadas y tacos y enchiladas. Entonces me acuerdo que ese día yo le dije a Jorge, no, ahora no nos vamos a ir a cenar en casa Rosa. Y me dijo, pues ahorita, hombre, todavía ni se van las trabajadoras, pero mi suegra nos... ¿Sabes para qué tiempo fue, Moquis? Para cuando tu papá tuvo el accidente.
Oh, sí, bueno, hace tiempo.
Bueno, espérate. Resulta de que una señora va y toca en Cama María. Y salgo yo. Y resulta de que yo conocí a la señora, pero la señora también conocía a mi suegra. Y me dice, ay, Carmelita, ¿no me dejarás entrar al baño? A mi muchacha es que la traigo mala de diarrea y fui a Cachela y no me dejó pasar, le dije. Y en eso salió mi suegra y le digo que si no deja pasar, sí, ándale, pásate. Y ya la muchacha se pasó al baño, la que estaba enferma, y mientras mi suegra y la señora se quedaron a platicar y ahí estaban platicando, que eran compañeras de la tercera edad. Y le digo yo, pues había de venir más seguido con mi suegra, mire usted sola allá y mi suegra sola acá, había de venir. Tráigase una servilleta y acá se ponen y la hacen. Y dijo, vas a ver que si voy a hacer esto, a ver qué día me vengo, a una tardecita a quedar acá. Ándale pues. No, pues al otro día se fueron la señora. Y al otro le hablan a mi suegra que tu papá tuvo un accidente muy feo y que está bien grave en el hospital. Y pues tu mamá María decide irse en el autobús. Yo hasta esa vez le decía, yo me voy con usted, mamá María, yo me voy con usted. Oh, dice, ¿y cómo te vas a ir si no tienes papeles? Ay, dices, yo le decía, es que yo quiero estar con mi coma Mary, porque no quiero que esté solita. Pues sí puedes decir, yo sé que tú quisieras estar allá, pero pues no se puede. Bueno, ya se acabó. Entonces pasa que le empiezo a decir a tu tío Jorge de la cena de tu tía Rosa y me dice, deja que salgan las trabajadoras. ¿Cómo nos vamos a ir y las vamos a dejar? Bueno, pues ándale pues. Nosotros seguimos trabajando así en la mesa. Y empiezan a bajar las trabajadoras. Y haz de cuenta que Jorge trabajaba de este lado y yo trabajaba de ese lado. Y allí bajan las escaleras.
Lados opuestos y luego las escaleras atrás de ti.
No, a un lado.
A un lado. Oh, entonces
yo trabajo allí donde tú estás, Jorge
sí.
Acá. Y haz de cuenta que aquí vienen bajando las escaleras así.
Como las escaleras a la mano derecha y ustedes así enfrente cada uno.
Y aquí pues la lima.
Sí. Ajá.
Entonces yo volteé, oí pasos y yo volteé y ya vi que bajó la primera. Y ya nos dicen buenas noches, hasta mañana, que descansen. Ándales, que buenas noches, que descansen. Y así empezaron a bajar y a bajar. ¿Te acuerdas de doña Amelia?
Sí.
Baja doña Amelia y me dice, ya me voy, Cami, que pases buenas noches, que descansen. Le digo, ¿quién se quedó arriba? Y me dijo Chabelita. Y le dije yo, ándale pues, doña Amelia, que le vaya bien, buenas noches, que descanse. Y se fue. Entonces de repente, yo estando allá, volteo para arriba, volteo así para acá y veo que viene Chabela. O sea, yo vi que venía alguien, pues como la única que estaba era Chabela, pues yo dije Chabela. Y le hago señas a tu tío Jorge que ahí viene Chabela y Jorge voltea y ya nomás me dice que sí. Y ya Chabela baja, pero ella no nos dice ni buenas noches ni nada.
O sea, ella es así, que nunca les ha dicho buenas noches.
Cuando andaba de buenas sí, cuando andaba de malas no.
Ah, depende en su...
Sí.
Entonces no se les hacía raro.
No, pues espérate. Y entonces baja y yo volteo y la veo que se va. Y Jorge también voltea y la vemos que se va. Yo ya no le vi la cara, la vi de espaldas y tu Jorge también. Y le digo, mira, está tú. Ni adiós, ni buenas noches, ni que descanse, ni nada. Y me dice Jorge, pues ya sabes que Chabelita es bien lunática. Cuando quería hablar, habla y cuando no, no. Y le digo yo, vámonos. Y dice, deja que se oiga la puerta cuando la cierran. Y si tú estás acá abajo de la lima, se oye cuando cierran la puerta de la casa.
Sí, porque se pone el eco por toda la casa.
Entonces, en cuanto Chabela se oyó que cerró la puerta, dijo Jorge, ahora sí, vamos. Desconectamos la cortadora, la televisión, nos fuimos, pero al bajar la puerta del baño, cerramos con la tranca, con llave y con la tranca por atrás. Y nos fuimos, cerramos con llave, mi suegra pues no estaba. y nos vamos a casa de Rosita. Y no, pues que venimos a cenar. Y Carmela dice, hoy no hace la señora. No, le digo, y ahora que tenía tantas ganas. No, dice, pues hoy no hace. Y ya nos entretuvimos ahí, plática y plática y plática. Se hicieron las 10 de la noche. Y vámonos, Jorge, porque ya son las 10 de la noche. Pues ahí venimos para atrás. Y cuando veníamos por el Rangel, me dice Jorge, ¿qué vas a querer cenar? Y le digo, yo no quiero frijoles. Y me dice, pues por eso te pregunto, mira, porque aquí en el 5 hay de todo. Pues si quieres algo, pues de aquí llevamos. Le dije, solo que nos llevemos una hamburguesa. Y se paró y compramos unas hamburguesas. Y entonces llevamos para Cama María y me dice, ¿vamos a llevar la camioneta y después cenamos? ¿O primero cenamos y después vamos a llevar la camioneta? Sí. Y le digo, mejor hay que primero cenar para cuando vayamos a llevar la camioneta encerrar. ¿Te acuerdas dónde encerrar? Sí, me acuerdo. Pues ya cuando vengamos, hacemos tantito ejercicio, se nos baja la hamburguesa. Sí. No, pues que sí. Nosotros cenando tenemos la televisión, pero nunca fuimos a abrir la puerta ahí. No. Estábamos viendo la televisión y de repente yo ya la verlo, y le digo yo a Jorge, oye, le dije, se oye una máquina arriba. Tú estás loca, ¿qué pasó?
Sí, porque sí se escuchaba.
La vibración y todo.
Entonces yo le volví a decir, oye, una máquina. Y le bajó a la tele y paraba la máquina. 2 veces tu tío.
A mí siempre me pasa eso cuando digo, ¿se escucha eso? No se escucha. Y luego otra vez empiezan a hablar o continuar lo que está pasando. Y digo, mira, escucha. Otra vez no. Siempre me pasa eso.
Pues así pasó. El chiste es que pues que ya nosotros llegamos, platicamos, cenamos con aquella tranquilidad, nos tomamos el café.
Pero ya no escuchaban la máquina.
Pues como que de repente, pero como Jorge le bajaba y no sé allá, pues ya. Y de repente si Jorge, no, pues vamos a llevar la camioneta. No, porque sí.
Entonces todavía comieron, llevaron la camioneta.
Sí, no, que si todavía hace una plática así como la que estamos teniendo nosotros. Sí. Después de cenar yo con una plática de 1 hora. Y ya después que vamos a llevar la camioneta y cuando veníamos íbamos entrando a la casa de mi suegra y me dice Jorge, ¿te bañas o me baño? Y le digo yo, primero me baño yo para cuando tú te estés bañando yo me seco el pelo. Ándale pues, dijo, subí arriba y en lo que tú subes yo entro al baño. Sí. Le dije, ándale pues. Y yo iba para arriba y cuando dejan la puerta del cuarto donde usted se queda se refleja en el pasillito. Sí. Y yo solita dije, mira otra vez, porque seguido dejaban a los prendida.
Todo prendido.
Y yo decía, ay, qué cabronas muchachas, les digo que no dejen a los prendida, otra vez me la dejaron. Y al dar el paso yo para el pasillito, la overlo, y la overlo, pues yo brinqué, y que volteo, y Chabela me quedaba de espaldas. O sea, yo entré y ella estaba así. Sí.
Así la puerta y tú la espalda a la pared.
Y le digo, Chabelita, ¿qué estás? Y dice, ay, me asustaste. Le digo, ¿qué estás haciendo aquí? Sí. Y me dice, pues, ¿cómo que qué estoy haciendo aquí? Pues, si me dejaste encerrada. Le dije, no, yo te vi salir. No, dijo, yo en ningún momento salí. Dijo, y luego yo me quise ir, tú dejaste la puerta laqueada abajo y luego le gritaba a mi tía Chela para que me dejara pasar por allí. Pues no me contestó. Yo dije, pues déjeme regreso a coser. Le dije, no puede ser. No puede ser. Le dije, entonces, ¿qué fue lo que yo vi?
Sí. Entonces mi pregunta es, si cuando la primera vez que la viste, ¿tú la viste de cara?
No, dijo que no.
Espalda.
Los dos vieron la espalda.
No, pero
yo vi en la escalera. Ajá. Entonces tú te pones en la lima, ¿no?
Sí.
O en el tejado.
No, pues allí donde está.
Donde cortaban antes.
Donde tú estás,
sí.
De allí, y la escalera baja así. Entonces yo antes de cuenta que Jorge está. Pues Jorge está acá. Y yo de este lado y le digo que ya viene una. Sí. Y Jorge voltea y sí le ve, pero nomás le ve.
Yo vi cuando baja las escaleras. Y se da la vuelta para voltear a la puerta para ir al baño, ¿no? Sí. Entonces yo veo que se baja, pasa, y oigo que cierran la puerta de la calle.
Sí.
Paz. Le digo, ahora sí vámonos.
¿Ves?
Oh,
Y espérate. Y acabamos de escuchar. Entonces, me dice, pues es que tú me dejaste encerrada. Yo empecé tiemble y tiemble. Le dije, no, yo te vi salir. Que no, entonces, ¿qué fue lo que yo vi salir? Pues yo no sé, dijo, pero yo no me salí. Y le dije, ay, discúlpame, le digo yo, de verdad. Le dije, yo soy una persona mala, no soy un pan de Dios, pero yo no soy maldosa como para hacerte...
Dejarte aquí.
Ajá, le dije, tú sabes que yo no soy así.
No, pues respetamos sus horarios. Pues.
Y entonces yo me vio tan asustada y me dijo, no te preocupes, lo bueno que ya llegaste. Le dije, vamos a cruzarte, le digo, porque si estuviera tu marido, ya me hubiera venido a balacear la casa.
Sí.
Porque era bien mal señor, que en paz descanse. Pero la muchacha vivía donde ahora venden los regalos. ¿No has visto allí casi enfrente de Cama María que tienen...
sí.
Acabamos de pasar por ahí y dijimos, mira esta tiendita, no lo hemos visto.
Allí vivía en ese tiempo la muchacha.
Ok.
Y yo iba tan asustada que todavía llegando allí a su casa que empiezan los perros. No, pues yo otra vez otro sustote. Y le dije todavía, ay Chabelita, perdóname.
Sí.
Perdóname, yo no te quise hacer esto. Y ella como que ya después le dio risa. Primero estaba como enojada y después le dio risa.
Sí.
Y ya le dije yo, cuando yo iba bajando, le digo a Jorge, ahorita vengo. Y me decía, ¿a dónde vas? Le digo, a llevar a Chabelita a su casa. Y pues ya cuando yo vine, yo le dije a Jorge, le digo, ¿tú viste lo que yo vi?
Sí.
¿O nomás yo lo vi? ¿O qué?
Ajá.
¿Qué fue lo que vimos?
Sí.
Y dice Jorge, pues eso que les dice ahorita. No, pues yo la vi bajar, yo la vi cuando bajó, que se...
Y es que sus caminadas eran...
O sea que no puedes, así la distingues a ella por sus caminadas.
Sí,
y su pelo,
y su cuerpo.
Lo tenía chinito.
Pelo cortito y chinito, o sea...
No, lo tenía como por aquí.
No, pero no, o sea, yo no digo corto aquí, sino no, un pelote, no. La Chabela como tuvo el pelo largo.
No, pues como por aquí, lo traía en capas en ese tiempo.
Como a media espalda, pues.
Ajá.
Bueno, pues, pero el chiste es que hasta sus pasos o sus caminos eran ella.
Y entonces,
el cuerpo, pues,
entonces,
es
no
simple,
quis-
el cuerpo.
pues entonces yo me puse mal y tu tío Jorge tuvo que echarme alcohol y todo porque yo estaba llori, porque yo decía,
¿Qué
yo
acabo de ver? ¿Qué
yo
vimos?
yo nunca había visto nada.
Ajá.
Y yo a veces decía
¿Esa fue la primera vez que han visto algo pasar así?
que
ahí
es
en esa casa.
realidad, sí.
Entonces siempre era como...
Que yo veo, que
Ajá.
yo te puedo decir fue verídico.
No, pero aparte, uno puede, o sea, yo puedo decir, yo como que vi esto,
Pero no está
pero
seguro.
dos personas.
Sí, ajá, eso es lo
dos
que iba a
Pero
decir.
dos personas al mismo
la
tiempo
misma
y
cosa.
lo mismo.
Sí.
Entonces por eso era mi pregunta con él, Jorge, ¿tú viste lo que yo vi o nomás lo vi yo? Y si lo vimos los dos, ¿qué fue y qué pasó?
¿Qué?
Nada, ya está asustado.
No, es que, ¿te acuerdas como te dije lo de las puertas? De repente puse la imagen de mi padrino saliendo del cuarto y no cerrando la puerta, entonces me volteé y digo, sí está cerrada entonces.
No, y aquí puedes oír que se cierra la puerta, esa, pero es porque están abiertas las ventanas del baño, entonces el aire lo avienta para acá.
Que es que eso
Entonces,
me pasó ayer.
entonces ya después, pues ya el otro día, y otro día otra vez pide perdón a Chabelita y yo lloré.
Yeah.
Pero más tarde nos dimos cuenta que la señora que fue que si no dejamos entrar a su hija al baño, se había muerto.